Welcome to the first ever SL debate chat. Okay, so I'm gonna make the party representative speaker so they can talk, then I'll ask the questions.
Don't spam propaganda in chat. I will delete that. Don't spam propaganda.
Alright, Godcraft, we'll start with you. First question is, what are your party's core beliefs?
Oh wait, let's start with Hans.
Alright, yeah, Hans, you go.
Yeah, who? Oh, me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, what is the question?
What are your party's core beliefs?
Yeah.
Well, my party believes in a strong nation. First, we want to reform the economy or build it, because right now we don't really have one, since we are a new nation in this Larp roleplay thing. And we aim to build a strong defense, more military budget, and increased border security in order to prevent immigrants or any other unwanted or illegal people from coming into our country. And just make the country safer for our citizens. And that's mostly it.
All right, thank you. Mouse, you can go next.
So we are the Greater Salarian Vanguard, and our primary objective as a party is to ensure that the culture and the language of our beloved nation is able to prosper within its borders. As we have seen, the eastern provinces are slowly and steadily becoming more and more filled with our Chkodian culture rather than our Salarian culture. So the party itself believes first and foremost in the promotion of our culture. And secondly, we believe that a strong nation, united with a strong military, is the way to go ahead. Thank you.
Okay, to correct you from your statement, in the eastern provinces, they had a 3% increase in RH Guardians. As news outlets say, they had more than 30%. So that is factual incorrectly. So I just want to correct you on the statement. That's all.
All right. So you're done then, Mouse?
Yes.
All right. Golix, let's hear from you next. Golix, you there?
Yes. You hear me right?
Yeah, well enough. Yeah. Go ahead.
The PPS, the Party for Peace and Security, is generally for the militarization and increased security within the borders to increase stability and reduce crime, and obviously also promotes the free market to allow the people to decide their own plans or how they wish to invest their own money, which is basically the basis of the party.
All right, is that it or anything else?
Well, it also supports state secularism, where we feel like the state and religion should be separate, and we support a moderate welfare program to support the people, and a state-owned healthcare service,
Okay.
which is
Anything
all.
else? Anything else, or?
No, that's all.
All right, great. Godcraft, you're up next.
Fuck, shitty internet. Godcraft is a party believes that the individual rights of citizens in general should be maintained and that we should also advance egalitarianism between the various ethnicities within the country. It's one of our core beliefs. We also support the introduction of anti-crime measures, but believe that excessive militarization is a problem. Our core beliefs, and that's my opening statement.
All right, great. We will move on to the next question now. How will your party handle foreign relations? Hans, we will start with you.
Yeah, well, like I said, my party will promote national prosperity and will focus, we will not be dependent on the foreign nations. And first, I want to say that. What is the question?
How will your
Foreign
party
relations.
handle
Foreign
foreign
relations.
relations?
Yeah, well, we will first be welcoming foreign advisor or diplomats in our nations to build good relations with a neighboring country like RH Cordia. And secondly, like I said, we will promote national identity and kind of make our own sphere of influence so we can promote our culture, our national ideas, and other things that will help us in the long run.
I will add a small question, like if you want to
Yeah.
answer.
Yeah.
What do you think about your neighbors, mostly RH Cordia, the left populist Greece?
Well, I believe that we can work together. If we stand united, we can achieve great things. And Arch Cordian is is an active and powerful neighbor. And the Greek nations, I haven't heard much from them, but I think we will be strongly working together, and yeah, that's all.
They are ruled by a left-wing populist and nationalist government.
Yeah, like I said, it doesn't matter the government; it matters the people, and if we can work together, we will. I promise.
Hang on. All right, I fixed it. Mouse, you are up next.
It was about foreign relations, right?
Yes.
Well, the party of uh, peace and security obviously wishes to secure security for the great nation of the SL Republic, where we will try to create a sphere of influence of ourselves and cooperate with our neighbors to make sure that we won't have any enemies that will become a threat to our great nation.
Okay. A sub question that I asked with the other candidate is how will you handle the relations with RH Cordia and its parties that have a ruling government, and how will you handle with Greece and the left-wing nationalist and populist government? The relations.
We still believe we can cooperate with those nations, as the governments may always change in the future, and I'm sure that their nations would likewise still wish to cooperate with us either way, especially RH Korea, which is also a active hub for economic growth.
Thank you very much.
All right, Godcraft is up next. Looks like he's writing his thing again, so
Okay, I'm gonna just say his
great. And then
debate.
and Juti showed up late, so they're gonna, or however you say they're using, they're gonna tap in after Godcraft goes.
Sorry, I was lagging at my end. Anyway, the question is foreign policy, right? Hello?
No,
Yeah, it's
yes,
foreign
it is.
policy. Yeah.
How will your party handle
Yeah.
foreign relations?
While the VSG in particular would like to have a higher preference of our own national interests over that of others, we are not opposed to practical diplomacy. Many of the reporters, particularly of the SLT News and various other politicians, might have openly attacked us, saying we are hot headed. However, I would say that we are one of the most calmest organizations in this entire setup. For while we do advocate for the supremacy of our culture, we at the same time are open to alliances with almost any other party, and we will continue that on the foreign level as well. We may not like how RH Code is actively attacking our own culture. However, that does not mean that we won't be open to an alliance with them or to cooperate with them in order to further the interests of our own nation for the better. So yeah, we will follow a practical diplomatic path to achieve the best interests for our nation. We are not fools. We we are the leaders of a greater Slaria. Thank
Okay,
you.
how will your party handle the relations with Greece?
Yeah, exactly. However, we would put more emphasis on our own national interests. And even in negotiations, while we will give enough room to maneuver around, we at the same time will ensure that the interests of SL are not compromised.
Thank you very much. Okay, we have this statement from Godcraft, so I will say it again. I will say it now. I know, I saw. Okay, Godcraft. We believe that we should cooperate with all our neighbors, since openly being aggressive to them is not the way to go, and we know that. Stabilizing relations, especially with Eritrea that dominates the Balkan economy, is very important, and maintaining positive trade is also important. You could have this. Anyways, on the other hand, Greece may be out of the question for large-scale cooperation, though we do not plan on invading them or any other hand having aggressive relations. Okay. And Judy from the Orange Party says we should cooperate not only in Europe, we should cooperate in the whole world to make alliances and increase our influence. Peaceful relationship with Balkan nations is of course thing that we need to look at, but at the same time we need to strengthen our military because who knows what the leaders can plan. We need also involved in alliances globally because Europe is only part of the world, as well as involved in UN peacekeeping missions to eradicate terrorism like in Haiti and Somalia. Because if we don't achieve peace there, war will come to us from these places. Okay, so Anjuti, the follow-up question is how will you handle relations with Aretzkordia and Greece? Type again. Cambodia, we need to build trade and military relations, but we can't just submit to them. We need to cooperate as equals, not puppet master and their puppet. Okay, Orange and with Greece. Just last statement with Greece. Greece is the same as Ariscordia, but because they have a bit more strategic relevance, we need to build military connections between them and us to strengthen our borders. So more friendly relations with Greece than Ariscordia. That's perfect. Okay, we have next question, right? Is anyone wanting to say anything else?
Yeah, we have one more question. Not one more. We have a few more questions, but yeah, next
Yeah, of
one.
course
What does
we
your
have.
tax and economic policy look like, starting with Hans?
Okay, finally.
Yep. Well, we won't implement taxes because that will just completely ruin our support. Since no one likes taxes, man. We don't need them in order to build a strong economy. But we will focus on trading with the neighboring nations, with the international world, and kind of get our produces on the international market. And we can, my party will aim to join the European Union in order to get financial support, and maybe NATO in order to get military and security, and help the nation become more prosperous. And
Okay,
that's all.
Okay, one small question. Will you try to make deals with your Balkan neighbors?
Make what?
Trade deals.
Yeah, we will do that because trade is the most important thing in order to build a strong economy. If we don't trade with neighbors, we won't be able to build this economy that we want. We will remain weak, and we won't be recognized as a powerful state that we should be.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, Grace. Great Mouse, you are up next.
Yeah, it isn't a great
Yeah.
mouse.
Thank you. Um, so the question is foreign policy again, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, because economic
No, it's
tax.
economic policy, like tax and that kind of stuff.
Oh, that. Okay, so firstly, we want obviously more government taxation in order to, fund our projects. As well as, however, to compensate for the high taxes we will, I have a new policy to be suggested. And that policy is using prisoners as labor, obviously without pay, because, well, this is a way they can spend their time. Don't steal if you can't work. So the prison labor will be a primary motive in order to, you know, ensure that the business owners are able to recover from the high taxes. As well as we will, so apart from those two reforms, we'll also promote more domestic industry. We would like to lessen our exports from abroad as well as start a much larger industrialization plan in order to lift our poorest citizens from below the poverty line up to at least a decent social standing that they're able to afford their own homes. And obviously, curbing crime and arresting as many prisoners as possible for labor will be a primary source to compensate the high taxes. So, yeah.
Okay, so what I can realize from your speech is that you want protectionism in trade and prison labor. Am I correct?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
All right. Hang on. Galix is not a speaker anymore. They are up next. Let me just. All right, Galix. Go ahead.
The economic policy of the Party for Peace and Security is to promote a free market which allows all the people and businesses to decide how they wish to spend their money, which will obviously allow for greater economic growth as businesses will be able to grow uncontestedly, which will probably increase our economic growth. Along with this, we might also add trade deals with neighboring nations to increase further cooperation and economic growth. And we also plan low taxes to encourage growth for businesses with this.
So you want full force capitalism. Thank you very much. Okay, next one is Goldcraft.
Yep.
We want to maintain low-end taxes, and make them relatively progressive. We believe both extremes go too far to one end, and therefore result in an unstable tax policy. People always either go too far down or too progressive. We also want to allow companies to operate mostly freely, but we don't believe we should be excessive in the support of major companies or in the support of workers. That's all. Who's next? It's Orange, isn't it? It's Orange.
Yeah, but
Orange.
Orange does not seem to be here right now, so they're probably just having
Okay.
internet issues. So we'll just move on to the next person then.
I don't think we have another question.
Sorry.
We have to go to next question, not next person.
Yeah,
We're
next
finished.
question. Sorry. All right. So first, before I get to this next question, I'm just gonna make sure you guys understand how our crime system works here within the economy. Cops will catch the criminals and do a 100-sided dice roll to just determine whether or not they're caught. 1 through 20. If it's between 1 or 20, then the criminal is caught. The odds can be increased through police training programs, which leads me into my next question. How will you handle crime?
Hans,
Hans, you go first.
Yep. Crime. So, first, when we win the elections, we will make a constitution with the help of the coalition, the PPSA and the conservatives and the others that are in the coalition. And after we do that, we will make sure that every criminal gets their own sentence that they deserve. We will not be giving easy sentences. We will not be giving bail or something. If you are a criminal, you should go straight to jail. But the sentence will depend on the crime. Like, for example, if you rob the National Bank, it will be either life in prison, 20 years, or something like that. We believe in a strong punishment for criminals, and I do not want to make this country unsafe by releasing, how should I say it? Dangerous. By releasing dangerous people back on the streets of Celeria and its capital. So, if you are a criminal, you should be worried, because if you win the election, your life won't be easy. And that's all.
All right, great. Thank you. Mouse, you are up next. You already talked about prison labor, so if you want to expand on that, you can.
Yes, I would like to. Thank you very much, Greek. So, as we mentioned before, the prisoners will be used as basically an economic government tool in order to, you know, ensure that our nation's industry remains healthy and functional. However, there are some things which I think I overlooked and forgot to add. So I will just tell that right now. First of all, it's not like if you get arrested, you will straight up be made a slave for your entire life. No, the government will be keeping records. Say you are a lowly thief who like stole, I don't know, uh, an apple maybe, and you get sentenced to like 1 day in prison. Obviously, you are not going to be taken and sold away as a slave. But say you were sentenced to 1 year for an attempted robbery, then you will be made to work. And if you are able to, you know, do good work, your prison sentence will be reduced. So, say he's sent to an arms factory and he's able to make, and the burglar is able to make 5 or 6 guns per hour. So, instead of that, he will be given 6 months in prison. And after his sentence is over, he still has the option to continue working. So, not only does a prisoner gain valuable work time experience, he also provides for the nation. Now, there are two exceptions to this rule. Firstly, if you are a murderer, serial killer, rapist, you will not be, given this deal. Instead, you will be shot. Secondly, if you are sentenced to life in prison, then yes, you will basically be, you know, forced to work for the entire of your sentence in a factory. However, depending on good behavior, it might be reduced to like say 50 years in prison or like 40. And another thing, for those who betray our glorious nation, such as traitors or spies, uh, well, yeah, they will be made slaves. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Galix. You are next.
Thank you. The Party for Peace and Security will obviously increase spending for the security department and make sure a police department is established, as we of course promise a secure and peaceful society here in SL Republic. Therefore, we will also make sure that all criminals will have a chance to rehabilitate and learn from their mistakes to then re-enter society so that we can then continue to contribute and improve our economy, as we will make sure that our criminal rates will go down and the amount of people who will work in the economy will increase.
All right. If that is all, next up is Godcraft. Greek, has he sent you his thing or?
Godcraft. Let me see. Yeah. Okay.
Great.
We will try to get police on the street and active. There's no need to be excessive with militarized police and stuff like that. But we believe that just sentences are equal and due. Sentences should be progressive based on the crime, and we should include all levels of punishment, from fines to long-term imprisonment.
Next question now. What do you view as the biggest issue in SL, and how will you handle it? Hans, you are starting.
The biggest issue I see currently in SL is the fact that the economy is very, very bad. And that's the main goal of my party. It's to work on that and build a strong economy to rival RH Cordia and to even overpass it. And yeah, like I said, we will focus on the economy, we'll build it, we'll make this country prosperous, and we won't give up on that dream. That's all.
All right, great. We are moving on to Mouse now.
Yes. So, sorry, what was the question? Yeah,
What
biggest
do you
issue.
believe?
Biggest
Yeah,
issue.
the biggest issue, and how would you handle it?
All right. I'll be speaking from two perspectives. One, what I want to actually do, and secondly, what I think my party should aim to be. So, what I actually want to do if I manage to win is like the actual promotion of our culture, the actual foundation of a language. I want to actually build up a, a culture for the SL Republic, and as well as a language actually. I may appoint a new committee in order to, full of lawmakers and all, alongside admins obviously, to start a culture to unite the SL people. And what I believe my party should see as the biggest issue is how to lift SL from its state of dependence, as I call it, to one of complete independence. We might be independent politically, but we are still bound economically as well as socially to the nations around us. And hence, I believe that complete independence can only be achieved once we are free economically and socially. Thank you.
All right, great. Thank you for your answer. Galix, you are up next.
The Party for Peace and Security currently believes that as a new nation, the biggest issue currently is the lack of stability, security, and economic prosperity. As we are a recently established nation, we have to make sure that all three of these issues are solved to make sure that we become a strong nation. So hereby we believe that if we increase security via a better police department, and if we increase the economic growth and improve the economic situation, that crime rates will go down and stability will increase for not only us but also every nation in the region.
All right, great. Thank you. Godcraft, you are up next. Greek, has he sent you his statement?
Okay, let me check. The biggest issue is that of the constitution, which should be finalized with a stable system with clear checks and balances, with an important emphasis of the power of the parliament. The president should be elected and have a 5 to 7 year term, whilst the parliament should hold true power, appointing the secretary of government and maintaining a strong, independent judicial system.
All right, is that all?
Yeah.
All right, Orange, do you have remarks already prepared, or?
He does not, does he? I will just say, will you edit it,
Sorry?
Dark? Will you edit it?
Yeah,
Or
I'll
is
edit
it
it
all
down a
one?
bit.
Okay. Okay, so let me say the orange statement from the previous question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because we need harsh penal code like death penalty for intentional murder, mass murder, terrorism. For young offenders, though, we need more re-education, but not send them to prison, but give them second chance to change their lives. For second crime, there should be much harsher sentence. In hard times, if crime would be a huge problem, military would step in and crack down on terrorism and crime.
All right, is that it?
Okay. Yeah, for the peanut. Okay. Orange. Orange.
Um,
It's not here.
would you like?
Okay, let's
They're
go.
not here. Okay, yeah, we'll just move on.
Okay, before we go to the final closing statements, I want to make one of my personal questions about the SL.
All right.
To all candidates in this election, I want you to state how do you want to promote, how do you want to deal with illegal immigration? Hans, you're first.
Well, yeah. Well, if you read my party description and the party summary, My party is actually one of the first parties ever created in ESL. I stated there that we will tighten border control. That means more guards, more defended borders on the every nation that borders us, and even in the sea. So increased military spending, increased guards on the borders, and extra security checks for immigrants coming in the country from other nations, maybe like from the Middle East, from Africa, and any other nation. We will not discriminate, but we will enforce a strict security on the border, so we won't allow any people with, let's say, bad relations, or let's say they have a crime record in their own country. We will not allow those kind of people in our country, because they will just create instability.
A statement about emigration. People leaving.
Immigration. Yeah, I think I can do that. Like I said, we won't allow people to come easily into our country, but we cannot block people from leaving. But we will make sure that everyone who leaves will regret it, because we will make this country the richest country in the continent. We will make everyone want to come here. We will promote our culture, our national identity. We'll build the economy. We'll do everything in order to keep people here, in order to promote our ideas. We'll become the center of Europe. We'll become the center of the world. And yeah, that's all. We're just gonna be the greatest country on the continent.
No, okay.
Mouse, you are up next.
The subject is legal immigration and emigration. You have the states.
Emigrate.
Immigration and emigration.
Oh,
Talk
all right.
about
Yes. So my party personally believes that immigration, as long as it is, I have a policy which I would like to say is of cultural oneness. Like, as long as you accept the culture of the place you are entering, I do not think of it as immigration. However, if you actively refuse to accept the culture of the nation that you're entering, then I believe that may be the problem. And it is that second type which is the primary cause of so many debates regarding immigration. I do not mind the minorities or the immigrants at all. However, if they refuse to accept the glorious culture of SL, I will not be opposed to the idea of deporting them. In fact, I will celebrate the occasion. For those who refuse to accept the nation's culture are nothing but leeches who want to suck off its blood and its economy in order to further their own ends. And as for immigration, I believe the same applies to other nations our citizens immigrate to as well. We should adopt the culture of the foreign nations. Obviously, our culture is superior, so we should remain in our country and help it grow instead of going outside. However, as long as the people are willing to accept the nation's culture, I have no problem with immigration. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Galix, you're up next.
All right. So it's about both immigration and emigration, right?
yes, correct.
All right. Well, first covering immigration, we will obviously try to tighten those rules, as obviously that especially the illegal immigrants cause a lot of these instability. And the fact is, because we are currently a newly found nation, we must make sure that we are as stable as possible and cannot take the risk of too many immigrants. Now, obviously, we will try to take in as many as we can, but we will make sure that we will not have too many as to destabilize us. And for emigration, well, we will basically try to make the country a better place, to make sure that everyone will want to stay here instead of leaving. So that's basically.
All right, thank you. Dogcraft, you're up next. Greek, he sent you the statement, right?
Perfect. We should put time and money into making sure that all immigrants are checked and documented. Undocumented immigrants remain a problem, especially coming from the Middle East, passing through RH corridor into SL. Though I do believe that the number of immigrants, both legal and illegal, is rather low. Many people have turned this small issue into a major one, like just to galvanize support across Europe. Emigration, we will just have to deal with it as it is a natural result of low standards of living, which will be increased, and here too. Perfect. So we have closing statements now.
Yep, so this is the time to say anything you want to say or any speeches you've prepared. So we will start with you, Hans.
We have a whole speech.
Yes, I did prepare a speech, and it's not the best, but I didn't have a lot of time. And I guess I will start now. My fellow Solarians, tonight I stand before you not just as a candidate, but as a patriot and a servant of the nation we all call home. I speak to you not in the language of empty promises, but in the language of resolve. The resolve of our people who have weathered storms, buried tyrants, rebuilt from rubble, and always stood on their feet with dignity. Today, the country faces a crossroads. We see foreign interest from our age Cordiam trying to dictate our policies. Our economy is bending to the will of foreign banks, and the migrant issues is being overlooked. Our sovereignty, the very essence of our independence, is being traded away piece by piece for cheap applause from those who do not live here, from who do not know us, and who do not love this land. The National Sovereignty League was born to say enough. We believe Celeria should be ruled by Celerians. We believe our borders matter, our culture matters, and it should be protected at all costs. If you give us your trust, I promise you this. We will reclaim economic control. We will protect our traditions, our borders. We will sacrifice blood and we will rebuild our history. And we will never apologize for being Celerian. We will strengthen national defense. A nation without strong borders is not a nation. We will secure our frontiers and protect our citizens from every threat, be it criminal or ideological. We will end political corruption. The days of career politicians using power to enrich themselves are over. We only serve one master, the people. My friends, this election is not about the left or the right. It's about fear. Wait, it's not about fear. It's about love. Love for the country. And when you love something, you fight for it. On election day, stand for sovereignty, stand for strength, stand for Celeria. Vote the National Sovereignty League. Vote for your future. Vote for your country and fight for your rights. That's all. Thank you.
It's about fear.
Bro, that was the biggest mistake, bro. It almost was perfect. No,
Besides that very good speech,
1984.
Yep, thank you. All right, it's time for Mouse to go next.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, so okay, I will start. The nation of Celeria today stands at the crossroads of history. Our nation is about to enter its first elections, which will decide the fate of the nation. And I want to implore the public to remember that a weak coalition government will only serve as a signal to the vultures outside our great nation that this is the time for them to pounce on a weakened state. The G the GSV is the path to a strong and capable government which will manage to show the world that Celeria, while a young nation, is not a defenseless nation. Our nation stands at the crossroads of history, not as a mere pawn in a game of chess, but rather as the one that shall eventually come to rule the Balkans. The nation of Celeria has great people, and these great people are the descendants of those whose forefathers have fought for this land for generations. And we shall continue on this struggle, leading our nation to a glorious new century where it shall prosper and rule the world. I shall also ask all of you to remember that the GSV has its origins not as another political party made to further the interests of the elite, but rather as a student organization whose primary aim was to promote the culture of our beautiful nation. Vote GSV, if not for the fact that we desire power, but for the fact that we want to reform the nation. Thank you.
All right, great, thank you. Galix, you're up next.
Thank you. Well, brothers and sisters of the SL Republic, today I do not stand before you as a politician or a person of power. Today I stand before you as a fellow SLer. I stand before you as a fellow brother to the society of SL Republic. I hear speak of equality. I hear speak of the opportunity to make sure that our new republic will not be stamped to the ground. I'm here to offer everyone the opportunity to work for a greater cause, to work for a stable SL Republic, to work for a rich SL Republic. If we stand alone, we will not survive in this cruel world. But if we unite together under the great opportunities that all our parties, and therefore the party of peace and security, is offering, we can make sure that the SL Republic is not just the fast growing nation or the most powerful nation in the Balkans, but the most powerful nation in the world. As the boots of the superpowers around the world may be golden, they walk the same earth as us. We will climb the same stairs that they have climbed, and we will reach the same heights, if not greater, than everyone else on the world. Together we unite, and together we will become rich. Here I ask you, do you wish to stand divided, and do you wish to live in insecurity and instability, or do you wish to live in a strong state where your safety is guaranteed and everyone has the freedom to do what they want and to become as rich as they want? I thank you for your attention.
All right, great, thank you. Godcraft, do you have any last statements or no?
We sit amongst people that ask for the open reestablishment whoever is at the head of the country, be it the Conservatives, any liberal or religious party, has the guts to take and ask. Why? Why are we doing this? What is our goal? questions are what drive us into the future, asking why, who, what, and how. With what money, and how does it affect me? These questions that drive us into the future, not actions, aimless, planningless action. People of the SL Republic, we will work to get towards the future, slowly and steadily, whilst asking why.
All right, thank you for that closing statement. Yes, it is being recorded. This will be on the YouTube channel. You guys should check it out.
And
Yeah,
with
I
that,
just want to.
we are ending the statement. I will put music to say goodbye.
All right.
Ah, fuck, it's ads. I
Yep, I'm
hate
just going to
that.
say thank you to everyone for showing up last minute.
Yeah, no problem. It was very interesting, and I liked it.
Yep. Also, anything said in the debate stage chat was being recorded.
Ah, hell.
All right. Like the video and subscribe for more democracy LARP content.